Before we start this video, thank you to the members of the channel. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video today. And today I have another Thomas Wooden Railway layout for you guys. This might be my best layout of that I have ever created with the space of that I have, but just a quick rundown of this layout. I did use every single destination in my collection, every single engine in my collection, and piece of rolling stock in my collection is also on this layout, with the exception of Diesel 10, Splatter, and Dodge because they are on my display case. But pretty much everything was used. I did have a ton of track left over. I just don't have enough destinations right now to use up all of my track. I think my best layout of all time, I forgot what it's called, but it has the thumbnail of Spencer on the mountain tunnel. I think I titled the video Thomas Wooden Railway Toy Train Layout. I think I also put the word massive in the title because that was a really big layout, and I think that was my best one of all time. That's when my collection was much bigger for destinations and some other pieces and engines and pieces of rolling stock. But that's on my playlist on my channel for Thomas Wooden Railway layouts. So you can go check out that playlist on my channel's homepage if you want to see all of my Wooden Railway layouts. But here we have another one here today, but this is the first one with my green, I'd say grass mat, green carpet mat I wanted to get for the train room and to show off Thomas Wooden Railway in all of its glory. As it kind of was shown off in the 90s yearbooks, it would always have this green mat to show off all of the merchandise, and it does a very good job of doing that. So yeah, I guess that's all I really wanted to say. I did use up all of my rolling stock as well, if I didn't say that. I do need to get more rolling stock in maybe some different destinations. I kind of need to go on another eBay buying spree, as I like to call it. So yeah, give me some recommendations for rolling stock down below because I definitely need to get some more in my collection. Anyways, before we start this layout tour, let me know down below how many times does Thomas the Tank Engine appear on this layout? How many times does Thomas appear on the layout in its various forms? Let me know down below in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed, because I'm going to be doing more Thomas Wooden Railway content, more Thomas and Friends content, covering the 2026 reboot, etc. So without further ado, let's get started with the layout tour. So first off, here we have Knapford Station, my talking railway Knapford Station. Here we have my 1996 Thomas. Then we have my 2001 Gordon at the platform. This kind of looks like that Thomas and the Magic Railroad deleted scene of Gordon and Thomas at Knapford when they originally opened the movie with this shot right here. What could have been. And then we have the glorious, famous 2003 Henry that lives in everyone's heads, rent-free, glorious 2003 Henry in all of his glory. Look at that mighty engine. Look at the mighty engine. So we have Henry here at Knapford Station. Henry has some express coaches leaving platform number 3. We have some passengers off to the side. These two came from Thomas and Bertie's Great Race story set. These are 2 members of the family of 4-pack. Thomas does not have any rolling stock behind him. Man, these 2 engines together, this is a beautiful sight. The 90s Thomas and this version of Gordon truly is gorgeous. Reminds me of Paint Pots and Queens, to be honest with you, or Down the Mine. These 2 have an alliance. So, as always, talking railway Knapford Station.
All aboard! Welcome to Knapford Station.
Oh yeah, Wooden Railway's peak.
You are a very useful engine.
Absolute peak. And then we have Sir Topham Hatt's car off to the side. We have Sir Topham Hatt in his office as always. So here's Knapford Station, and this is actually the front side of Knapford. So this is where the engines would take off. Originally, I had Knapford flip the other way and the engines would take off into the layout, but it actually just worked better to have Knapford facing basically my wall and the edge of the layout here. So on Henry's track, we have Elizabeth off to the side in Knapford Yard. Then we have this viaduct over here, and we'll get over there in a minute, but I want to go to my right here, because to my right, we have this track here which leads to my 1992 Daisy in mint condition, pretty much. But before we get to my right, let's go into Knapford Yard. So we're going to see some new pieces on this layout that I finally got in my collection. One of those is these three-way switches, which I did have as a kid, but as we all know, I do not have anything from my childhood anymore, Thomas and Friends wise. I basically had to buy an entire lifetime of Thomas and Friends toys, basically all over again, simply because my childhood collection, I pretty much threw in the garbage in trash bags and threw it in basically ended up in a landfill. Because I thought I was done with Thomas, so I threw away all of my Wooden Railway and Tomy. I sold some of it, but so much Trackmaster got thrown away, whether it was the Flip Face Thomas and the Tidmouth Shed set. Yep, that got thrown away. That very expensive, rare, sought-after set got tossed. All the Flip Face engines, yeah, that was tough. I had the original Tomy Thomas and Friends Christmas set, the one from the 90s, I believe. I forgot the year that set came out. Yeah, that one hurts. The original Tomy Christmas set. Yeah, that hurts. I'm just thinking about that right now. I also had the Steam Along Thomas set with the Green Bridge. That's the 60th anniversary set. Oh, yeah, so much good stuff got thrown away in my entire Wooden Railway collection. Yeah, that's a couple $1,000 down the drain there. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Anyways, we have my 1994 Duck here at Knapford Yard. I love these three-way switches because you can make a yard out of them, or you can make a big, I guess, Brendam Docks, or any sort of, you could put this at a station, at the docks, you know, by Tidmouth Sheds, have Tidmouth Yard, but here we have Knapford Yard, and then we have Stepney, and then we have my 1992 Boko, who is suffering from sun fading on his face. I kind of want to replace this Boko, but we'll see. I kind of want to get a new Boko. Duck has a cargo car that came with my cargo crane. We have a workman off to the side. We have a stop sign in the back here. So there is Knapford Yard. There's what Knapford Station is looking like from an up-top view. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Kind of liked how it turned out. We come to a T-switch here. And then we come to a stop-and-go station that came with my 60th anniversary set. Daisy is passing through it. Very nice piece. Kind of an interactive signal tower. My first time having it in my entire life, by the way, as well. So that's neat. And now we come to probably one of my favorite parts of the layout, and that is kind of the Tidmouth Yard. I call this the Tidmouth Yard, Tidmouth Station Yard, Tidmouth Station / the Yard. This is kind of the first time ever in my layouts I've had a Tidmouth area. So here we have the double crossover track, which is brand new to my collection, brand new to my layouts and my videos. So I love this piece. It's a very OG piece. Oh no, I didn't put the brake van on properly. But yeah, so listen to that sound. Beautiful. So the double crossover track you can put at stations, in yards, pretty much anywhere you want next to any destination. You could put this at Brendam Docks. It really turned out great. So here we have Tidmouth Station against the crossover track. Tidmouth Station came with the 60th anniversary set. Here we have the station master. Then we have Caroline the car, probably picking up or dropping off passengers. And now we come to Colin the crane. Let's turn Colin. You know what? I'll get a better shot of Colin. So Colin the crane, brand new to my collection. There's that Colin. There's that face. Colin the crane. Very glad I got him in my collection. Finally, he's loading Thomas's train up with some cargo. Here we have my 2001 Out of Puff Thomas that I unboxed a few days ago. Beautiful and brand new condition. Thomas is tired out. The troublesome brake van and the NW brake van are giving him some trouble as he went through the mountain tunnel and finally arrived at Tidmouth Yard Out of Puff. Very nice. I love this crossover piece. I love what you can do with it. Very cool. Very OG train here as well. Out of Puff Thomas and those two vans in the back there. Beautiful. Colin the crane is great because you can kind of stick him anywhere and he just fits in. He's kind of the perfect size as well. There's his jolly face. There's that jolly Colin. There we go. Look at that Colin face. Absolutely beautiful. Colin is never leaving the channel, boys. So here we have Tidmouth Yard in a up top shot. Here we have George the Steamroller helping out, probably not doing anything. Then we have my original 1994 Rusty. I did unbox this yesterday, and I posted that video yesterday. This is the very first version of Rusty ever released. That video is up on the channel. But yeah, this Rusty is in mint condition, as you can see. Very nice. Got the smaller black front, flat magnets, no dates on the wheels, and then also a white roof. Nothing on the bottom. The best version of Rusty ever released into Wooden Railway. And then Rusty has my Sodor, tar, and fuel tankers helping out in the yard as well. And then we come to Tidmouth Sheds. Yes. Here we also have a tree off to the side, but at Tidmouth Sheds is a tease for my next video. 5 new engines in the shed coming soon to the channel. 5 new engines in this shed. One of the best Thomas and Friends songs ever released. And yes, these are the best 5 new engines. We do not need Emily. Disgraceful. Emily's a disgrace. We don't need her. These are the 5 new engines in the shed. So we have Salty, who I just got back into my collection. This is the Learning Curve version. And then we have Harvey, we have Arthur, we have Murdoch, and then we have Spencer. These characters I am so nostalgic for because for some reason I was always watching season 6 as a kid, and I loved a lot of the season 7 episodes, especially Peace and Quiet. I just love these characters and how they were introduced and how they were used when they got introduced, and Gordon and Spencer as well. Such a fantastic episode. I'm very nostalgic for these characters. I think they also look so good with their paint colors and just how they look. You can kind of just tell they're all from the same era, if that makes sense. And then we have Sir Topham Hatt and Lady Hat. They're Wooden Railway figures off to the side, probably conducting these engines on how to behave on the island as they just got there. So there's Tidmouth Sheds there. There's my current version of it. So I guess we'll get an up top view of Tidmouth Yard, Tidmouth Station, Colin, Tidmouth Sheds. All kind of makes sense. It's one nice loop. Then we also have a siding over here. So yeah, really worked out well. We covered this part, Knapford Station, Knapford Yard, Tidmouth Yard, and these tracks. So I guess we'll go, where should we go? Let's cover this area first. So now we come to the main line viaduct. Here we have the double-wide old iron bridge, a OG 90s Thomas Wooden Railway item. Absolutely beautiful. We have surprised face Spencer again on this layout. He has run out of water on the viaduct, kind of like he did in season 7, but of course that was on Gordon's Hill. Then we have Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle. I'll give you a better look at Thomas when I go around into the layout later on. But here we have the double-wide old iron bridge. Below it, we have Knapford Workshed, but we'll get to that in a bit when I get you a better view. Then this track just leads down into Brendam Docks and Wellsworth Station. Harold is over there as well. So there is the viaduct area. But now we have to cover the mountain tunnel. So let me step into the layout here without totally knocking everything over. So here's the mountain tunnel, or you could call it Gordon's Hill, I guess. I don't really like calling it Gordon's Hill. I prefer the mountain tunnel. I think so many people just assume this is Gordon's Hill. Yeah, I don't really care to call it that. I prefer the mountain tunnel. Now, I will say, when you're using destinations like the Sodor Sawmill and Dumping Depot and, the mountain tunnel, you really have to plan the entire layout basically around these destinations if you have a limited space, because the angles at which you have to connect things, whether it's this track going underneath, you have to have a sending track on this line, then you also have to connect this track to everything. And if you want the layout to actually flow, it can kind of be a challenge at times. You really have to use your brain power. So, Thomas Wooden Railway always advertised that it would help kids, get in touch with their creative side and their, their hand skills and their thinking skills and how to build layouts and make tracks connect with all the different dimensions. Like this is a 3-inch track, that's a small curve, that's a 6-inch track. We have big curves, all the different angles and, ways you have to connect the line. It takes some time, it can be challenging at times. So here you have the mountain tunnel. It's not I love this destination. It's not my favorite to build with, though. It does look really cool when it's on a layout. It is massive, and you have all these tracks stemming, you know, underneath it, and it's a 3-layer destination. It is a beast. So here we have my 1996 Skarloey, mint condition. Skarloey has Ada, Jane, and Mabel, the narrow gauge coaches from the Railway series, never in the TV series. Sir Handel thinks they look like trucks, but Peter Sam is pretty fond of them. So, yep, there is mint Skarloey back in my collection, Skarloey. And then we have the 2012 Flying Scotsman by Fisher-Price and Mattel, one of my most cherished items in my collection because, believe it or not, the story I just told about 10 minutes ago in this very long video of how I pretty much threw my entire collection in the garbage or sold it on eBay because I thought I was done with Thomas. I restarted this entire Thomas collection, motorized, wooden railway, diecast, whatever I've covered on the channel, whatever I've collected, started again in 2012, and this Flying Scotsman was the first engine I ever bought again to start my collection all over again. This was the first engine I bought. It was I think in 2012 or 13. Flying Scotsman, I bought him off Amazon. Yes, that's how far we have fallen, guys. Just think, Thomas Wooden Railway Flying Scotsman in this amazing quality and how it looks. He looks absolutely gorgeous. That was available on Amazon for like 20 bucks. How far Thomas and Friends and its toys have fallen. We used to be able to get this on Amazon. Now, there's nothing but All Engines Go on Amazon. It's truly a disgrace. So, here's the mountain tunnel. We have Flying Scotsman, you know, puffing over the mountain tunnel. Beautiful shot. This is a shot you'd see in like a classic Thomas Wooden Railway yearbook. Flying Scotsman going over the mountain tunnel. Skarloey and Ada, Jane, and Mabel below. That's a yearbook shot right there. That is gorgeous. Then we have Toby and Henrietta. Toby has Henrietta going underneath the mountain tunnel. Then this track just leads back to Thomas. Skarloey's track leads to the Sawmill Depot. And then Mountain Tunnel, of course, leads back down to Knapford Yard. Toby's track leads to the backside of Knapford Station. As you can see, Gordon has the Knapford Express coach, backside of Knapford, and the yard. Better shot of Stepney with the wood funnel. Better shot of Knapford Station. Here is the 60th anniversary Thomas chilling in a siding. Then we have the Knapford Work Shed, engine shed, goods shed, I'd like to call it, I guess. Here is Harold the helicopter. Here we have Peter Sam, his reintroduction version around the mid-2000s, 2005 or so, 2007, I don't know. And then he has the Titmuth milk tanker. This Peter Sam in mint condition. I do love this version. And then we have my 90s Duke. That's a 97 Duke, I believe, 96. 96 or 7. Duke is chilling in the shed as well. Old Grand Puff. And then... yeah, I kind of liked how this area turned out. Knapford's really simple, really straightforward, but connects to the entire layout. 2 sidings, just like there is in the TV series. And then we have a nice goods shed outside of Knapford to store some coaches or trucks and have an engine shunt coaches from either yard, either shed, either siding to the platforms. Here's a better look of the double-wide Old Iron Bridge. And here we have the 2012 Mattel Winter Wonderland Thomas. Probably my, I'd say, top 3 favorite Fisher-Price Thomas Wooden Railway items ever. He's very well done. The face is excellent. I mean, it's a pity it's a CGI face. It would look so much better if it was a classic face, but man, this engine was very well done. So there's Thomas on the double-wide Old Iron Bridge. He has Annie and Clarabelle in brand new condition. There's a better shot of how the layout looks with the Knapford side. And then we have the single stone tunnel. And then we have poor Thomas, old Thomas, tired out of puff, sitting in a siding. This track just connects to the mountain tunnel to Skarloey's line. And then I'm going to have to, I guess I'll show you, we'll go to the docks, I guess. We'll go to the docks, and then we'll spin around and cover the rest of the layout. So here we have 2001 Edward sitting on a bend here, single stone tunnel. Like I said, now this viaduct leads down to the Sodor cargo crane, and then we come to Brendam Docks here. Another 3-way switch, But at the docks, Thomas has had an accident. And we have, what is this? 2002 Surprised Face Thomas. Crashed through some buffers with my 2 gray troublesome trucks. This one is from 1992. This one is from the very first Thomas Wooden Railway set ever released. So yeah, there's another shot of Surprised Face Thomas in all of his glory. And there's my 1996 gray troublesome truck. Pretty cool shot here, 2002 Thomas. Welcome back to my collection. Had him as a kid. He got thrown in the trash, so that's a pity. Then we have the cargo crane, as I said. Here is my 1998 Oliver. So there's Oliver's face. And then we have Toad backing Oliver up. So they're just having a rest at the docks before they get back to work. Then we have Butch, the breakdown vehicle. He is at Brendam Docks, just like he was in the episode Horrid Lorries. Then we have Mattel, Cranky the Crane. I don't know why I still have Fisher-Price Cranky in my collection, but here we are. I mean, I kind of have to replace him, but he's not bad. This Cranky is not bad. The paint work is done, you know, nicely. He looks like a good Cranky. I like the green color. I just wish he had a classic face, you know, but it's not bad. Or if they released a Cranky with an angry face, now that would be peak. That would be utter peak. So there's Cranky at Brendam Docks. We have the 3-way switch again with Brendam Docks. Works very nicely. Brendam Docks has got some length to it, some good size. We have the cargo crane, these 2 tracks coming down from the viaduct. This siding here, this 3-way switch. We have this siding that leads into the ocean. And got some good space here. So we have Mavis with the Sodorchana clay trucks. These are from 1997, I believe. And then poor Diesel, dumb old Diesel. I don't know why they kept bringing him back into the show, to be honest. I was rewatching season 3 not too long ago, and I was like, why does Diesel keep showing up? Whether it's in, like, what, Tender Engines, Mavis, Diesel does it again. I don't know. So Diesel has fallen back into the ocean with their cargo car. He has spilled Brendam Bay cargo all over. And then we have a workman as well, the dock manager, dock master. Then we have the Sodor Bay tugboat. And then we have the gristmill, one of my favorite accessory pieces from Thomas Wooden Railway. So there's Brendam Docks. And of course, here's the gold 60th anniversary Thomas Wooden Railway track that came with this set right here. That came with that set. Yep. Display case still going strong, boys. And then we come to, so here's Brendam Docks overview. Now I got to show you Wellsworth Station. I have to think about how I'm going to get there. Here we go. Okay, so here is Wellsworth Station. So we have this track here. That's at Brendam Docks. It leads into Wellsworth. Here we have Wellsworth Crossing. Here we have some signs from 1992. Bertie the bus is here at the crossing. Then we have Edward going across it with... Edward is tired out. He needs a rest. He's having a tough time with these troublesome trucks. He has the reintroduced version of Scruffy. I do want to get the OG Scruffy back in my collection, but it's just tough to find them in good condition. I love when all of my engines and rolling stock are in mint or new condition. So, and this one's in very good condition, so happy about this Scruffy. Edward also has a mail coach. That one is from the 90s as well. And then we have Wellsworth Station. So we have Edward Station. Bulgy the bus is here at the station as well. Then we have the station master. There's a better shot of Bertie. So yeah, Wellsworth Station. Turned out very nice. Kind of has its own little area on the layout. And now we come to, I guess, the second sheds area on this layout. It is at the complete opposite side of the layout as Tidmouth Sheds. So I don't even know what you could call this area, but this area turned out very well. So Brendam Docks leads into the Brown turntable. And at the Brown turntable, we have my 2 special engine sheds, where we have Duncan, who was rocking and rolling too much, you know, crashing through tunnels and coming off the rails, so Sir Topham Hatt has grounded him. Here we have the original Sir Topham Hatt figure and Station Master Workman figure. And then we have the original 1992 Thomas. This Thomas is just gorgeous. I mean, here we have staples, flat magnets, the ledge. You can see where the Thomas was put together. Beautiful paint job. There's that classic face. Just beautiful. The original Thomas Wooden Railway Thomas. Peak merchandise, boys. So Thomas is at the brown turntable. And we have 2001 Percy. I really do want to get a new Percy. I'm kind of sick of this one, to be honest. I kind of want a 90s Percy. I would love a Percy from 1996, brand new in the box. Now, that would be good. Then we have two trees here that came with the 1992 set. And then we have, again, my two special engine sheds. This one is from the 92 set. And then we have this V-switch that also came with that set. And here we have my two Scottish twin engines, where we have Donald from the 1990s. That is a 96 Donald. And then we have a later Douglas. Douglas is having a rest in the sheds. So this is just another resting area, yard area for the engines for some rolling stock. So this turned out really nice. Like I said, on the other end of the layout, opposite to Tidmouth sheds. So now we have one more area on the layout to cover, and that is the sawmill and dumping depot area. This turned out very well. So here is this shot. So we have the yard, the second sheds area, then we have this switch, and then we have Trevor just chilling, and then we have the brown windmill from the 90s. Very nice. Very good piece. I love, this is what makes Thomas Wooden Railway special, is that they did so many accessory pieces. You can actually build the island of Sodor, as I just did. I have all these characters, all these pieces, sheds, accessories, windmill, gristmill, Wellsworth Station. We have cargo cranes. We have, double wide old iron bridge, kind of like we saw in season 2. Man, there's just so many good pieces of that you can create the island with. Just so many little ones too. Like, I don't even have in my collection, sadly, which I need to get, the set of 3 buildings. It gives you, it can be like a house, a signal box, or a station building. So many nice little pieces just to flesh out the island in your layouts. Truly an underrated aspect of Thomas Wooden Railway. So then we have my 1996 James, my highly coveted 1996 James. He looks absolutely beautiful. That red paint truly is a splendid engine. And then we have James pulling a special coach. I just like to think, this is Spencer's coach, by the way, but I kind of just like to think of that. It's one of those red special coaches from season 5 that you would always see James pull. But then also, James also pulled 2 of these coaches in a bad day for Harold in season 6 when James passes by Percy at the broken signal, I believe. So James has got a special coach. He's up to something. Nice shot of James there. So there's James on the bend. And then we have the Knapford covered bridge leading up to the sawmill and dumping depot, another beast of a destination released by Thomas Wooden Railway. This piece is, again, heavily underrated. It's kind of tough to build with because we have these 2 tracks right here where you need some female adapters to attach a V-switch to, make up for both of these lines. But, basically, to summarize, this destination is we have this lever in the back here, which would lower the cargo, I guess, tilt the log car, which takes down the log into right here, and then you push it through, and then it would load up 2 log cars. So you get what I mean. So it can be kind of tough to build with, but these log pieces are very nice. They just go right back together, and there we go. So here at the dumping depot, we have my, I think I already showed you, but there's my 1997 Sir Handel wood funnel. That is my favorite version of Sir Handel ever released. And then we have Bill and Ben helping out at the dumping depot. Here we have Bill with my 2 green log cars. One is Henry's Forest log car, but I did a video where I repainted these guys, and look how they turned out. Look how they turned out. There is no edge wear anywhere on these log cars. They are in absolute mint condition. They turned out very nice. So there's 2 log cars. This is another yearbook shot. Bill and Ben with some log cars. Henry's Forest log car right here because he's got these logs. We have Ben. And then we have my 1992 Terrence. He's helping out at the Sawmill Dumping Depot today. Black wheels, treads, staples, flat magnets. Above the eyebrows. Very nice piece. Very nice engine. Roadway vehicle. So that is the rest of the layout. So we have this sheds area. Then we have the Sawmill and Dumping Depot area. Kind of takes up a good amount. And then again, we have the mountain tunnel. So that wraps up the entire layout and this layout tour. Sorry if I couldn't get the best angles on some of these shots. Tight space in the train room just because it's a train room. It's not a train house. So I couldn't devote an entire house space of room for a Thomas Wooden Railway layout. I could if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. So thank you for watching this 30-minute video. Here's kind of a shot of the layout. Very nice. I'm lucky to have that space right there, the way that this layout worked out, because that's where I was standing for most of the tour. So there's a shot of the layout, and then we finish our tour back at Knapford Station. Again, here is Colin the Crane. Glad I got him in my collection again. Tidmouth Yard. Again, 5 new engines in the shed. Be on the lookout for that video. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this layout down below. If you think this was my best layout of all time, I think it's pretty good. I mean, I used up everything. I think it could have been better, but I think it's really good. But I mean, I'd have to say that one layout with Spencer in the thumbnail on the mountain tunnel has got to be my biggest and best layout of all time. I had much more space to work with. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, as always. And I'll see you guys in the next video.